Hello everyone, and in this video we're going to continue working with the login and registration components. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, I want to create a new component here inside the components folder. Make sure that inside the components folder, let's create a new file. Let's call it home.js. Okay, here let's type RCF to create a React functional component. Okay, so let's just put here, just put a little like paragraph here. Okay, let's put hello. Save that. Okay, now we have our home component here. So now let's open app. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to use the use state hook. But why do you use a state hook? In the use state hook, we're going to use it to create an initial state. These are like states that we created. And this one we call it inside a function component and to add like some local state and then React is going to preserve it and it's going to give you a component, sorry, a function to basically update that component, to update the data. We're going to use that to basically check that the user is logging or have the token to be able to make post and get. We're going to get the token and we're going to sell. We're going to use it. If it's not logging, we're going to redirect the user to the login route to make the user login. That's what we're doing though. So in order to use the use state hook, we're going to import it. So here in import is part of React. So like add comma here, and then let's import use state. Okay. Okay, now let's import our component. Let's import home. Oh, sorry. I think this is Django. So import home from home. Okay. That's how we import home. And then let's import login from, remember it's inside, it's inside the auth folder. So let's just go to auth and then slash and then login here. Okay. And then let's copy this one. Let's paste it here and then let's put register. Register. Okay. We imported those. So now what we need to do, I'm going to create here. Let's create a function, call it get token. Okay. So what this function is going to do, this function, what this function is going to do, this function is going to search or basically get the token that will be stored in the local like storage. So token will be local storage because that's where we're going to store the token dot get item, and then this item I'm gonna call it token. Okay, just like that. Okay, semicolon here. So if here we have our conditional, if we have a token, let's return true. Else, of course, return false. Okay, it's a very simple function here. Okay, so we got the function here. Now we're going to use the useState hook. This is how you create it. So basically, we're going to name our state hook is off, and set is off. So with this function here, we're going to update the value here. This is why we put. You should basically it's recommendable to use set, so it's just basically to update or set a value here. So equals, then use a state, and so basically here inside the user state we can put the initial value. We can put zeros, that will be the initial value for is off. But what we want to get the token. So depending on if we find a token in the local storage now, that will be the initial value for the hook. But in this case, we want the function. Of course, this function will return true or false, and that will be the initial, basically state or the initial value for this hook here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's save that. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to use routers to basically route the user through the app. Okay, so we need to import or basically install a couple things. Let's make sure that you are in front end. So let's install React router done. This is going to help us to this is I have an update here. So this is going to help us to work with the router. So this is the version 5.2 this moment. Okay, so we got the router. So now we need to import router. So let's import the browser router. We're going to import that as router. We also need to import route and switch. Oops. And switch. Okay. From, you name it, React router. Okay. Import that from there. So now here we need to also create a new company, and then this company will basically let's create it so you can see. So let's create a new folder, and this folder, let's call it utils. Okay. So inside this folder, we're going to create a new company, new file, and then this company, let's call it private route.js. Okay. So here, let's just put RCFE. Okay, private route. So here we need to import route and redirect. Run course React router. Okay. So this component is going to take as parameter another component. Why? Because this basically here we're going to make sure that the route in this case will be home. Just a user that's logging will be just can access to it, right? So here we're going to pass a component. So just put component, and here component, comma, and then here we're going to get another parameter called like auth or whatever, or log. So basically, and also dot rest. This one will be basically boolean, will be true or false, and depending on this one, we're going to redirect the user to the component or to another route. So here, return this. Also pass the the rest. Okay. So here we're going to have render. Render props. Not these props. It's render. Just like that. Props, and then here we're going to have just basically like a function here, and this function will be if auto equals true. Basically, we're doing like a little like comparison here, and then here, depending if that's true or not, we're going to component component I don't know what is doing that. Props. Then we close that. And then here, redirect to, and then here we pass. If it's the user is not logging, if this is false, right? We're going to redirect. We're using the redirect here. So we're going to redirect the user to, and then here we put path name. We're going to redirect the user to the login, right? Because the user is not logging. So here, and then the state, we pass the state from props dot location, basically to get where we're going, where we've redirecting the user to. And then here we close redirect to, we close it here. You can just close it that way or this way. Okay. Oh, we need to close that too. The props equals true, and then here component and redirect to. Check render props. This is added. And then here, this is, oh, we need, oh, it's route here. So route. Okay. This is basically a simple condition here. We're using route to basically, here, we basically like render if it's the out or the parameter that we're getting it's equals to, then we're basically sending the user to that component that we're getting here. If now we're going to redirect the user to the login. I hope that makes sense here. Okay. Depending of if this is true or not, we're going to get that. We're going to redirect the user to the component that we want to go, or redirect the user to the login state. Okay. This is a condition here. Okay. So let's save that. Let's close that. So now we need to use create a new component called user context.js. Okay. So what is that? Like use context. So context, it just provides a way to pass the data through the components like three without having to like just pass like props to each one of them. So why is this important? We want to basically pass to all the components like for example a value. In this case I want to pass we can pass like user data, or we can pass, in this case will be if it's the user is logging or not. So this is very simple. We just need to import create context from React, just like that. Okay, so now here export const user context will be create context, and that is put null for now. Okay. Okay. So basically with this utility, we basically pass a value to all the component tree, to the parents and all the children and all of that. So we don't have to like basically pass each value to each component as a parameter for each one of them. And we're going to see that in a little bit. So let's just return to our app component here. So now we need to import the two components that we created. Here, let's import private route from hotels and slash private route. Okay. So, well, private route. Okay. So now some import user context from utils slash user context. Okay. Okay, we got those. So yeah, so here let's delete all of these. Here we're going to create a router. So router here, and then here we're going to have switch, just like that. And then inside switch, we're going to have user context dot provider value will be value is up and set is up. Again, just like that. And let's just close. Let's just close that like that. Okay. This needs to be like that. You're probably wondering why we're passing the set is up, because we want to be able to update this value from like any component. So here, oh, we need to plus this. Okay, so here is because we're going to grab, okay, we're going to grab all our components in with the user context provider. Okay, so now we're going to here is create a private route. Remember the private route component that we just created? So here, let's put a sat path will be basically the home or just the slash. And then here we need to pass the outer like parameters, remember? And that will be, oops, that will be here is auth. And the component, remember when we need to pass the component to, will be home. That component. Okay. And then here we just toss it. Okay. Okay. Basically this exact path, and we're passing the parameters out of in the component. So remember, in order, basically will be kind of like a doorman. It will basically check like, oh, are you authenticated or not? Yes. If you're authenticated, it will pass you to this company, which is on. If not, it will redirect you to the login. That's why we created this private route. We can pass, like if you have like multiple components, you can do the same thing and basically have your parameter that you want to check if it's true or not, or whatever, before sending the user to that company. Okay. Okay, now let's have a route, another route. In this route, put path login, and the component will be login. Here we just close that one, and we can copy this one for register too. And then here will be, oops, right, register. Okay. So yeah, very simple. We have like here routes, and we are grabbing our routes with the is out. So we are our user context provider, which will pass this our like hook or use state hook, which has the value of if it's the user is logging or not. So we can save that and we can just give it a try. Let's go to here and then let's type npm run. Okay, phone per as user context. Let's check. Create context, we get user context. Okay. Okay. I don't think there's a problem. User. user let me see. I think hotel user context. Oh, okay. So, so this one has to be grabbed like that, just like this, in order to work. Let's save that. Now let's run that. Okay, it's working. I'm going to update my version later. Okay, so now I think we should try this. And then go here. And as you can see, we don't have the user. We're trying to go to the home page here, but the user is not logging. That's why it's redirecting us to the basically the login route, which is the basic, of course, this one. But yeah, so we also need to make this to work and work with the registration here, and we're going to do that in the next video. I hope you understood this. Basically, what we're this kind of like complicated, all this like weird code, especially for the private route. But basically, here this is a private company where you private component, and we're just passing the component a parameter, and if it's true, we render the component. If it's not true, we redirect the user to the whatever company we want to redirect or route. Sorry. So yeah, and then here, and this is the hooks, the state hooks. You can use the state hooks. I don't think I explained it that well, but you can just go through the ReactJS documentation. You just basically have like a detailed explanation of this what it is. But yeah, just basically this one saves save state. Here is where the state value will be stored, and here is a function that we will use to update that state or value. And then here inside we of course we declare, and then we inside the here inside we specify the initial value, or we need renders the component I will start with. In this case will be our function with our get token function. Yeah, so I hope all of these make sense. If you have any questions, just leave in the comment below. And in the spirit, yeah, we're going to continue working with this part. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.